Good morning. Welcome to today's Soulful Contemplation on Rumi. Today we're reading from a poem by Rumi called The Ground Cries Out. Rumi has an unusual way of saying things, and one of the reasons that I read from his work is because it helps me start to look deeper at his wisdom and at what it is that how his heart cries out. I feel inspired by his writing, and I hope you do too. So, just for your information, it's not like I read or try to understand his work before we get on. It's completely in the moment, on the spot, just reading it with you and trying to express to you what moves through my heart in that moment from whatever I've understood, whatever I understand. And keep in mind that I'd love to hear from you. In the chat or wherever else you feel like communicating with me and letting me know your thoughts on this as well. So here Rumi begins by saying, I feel like the ground. I feel like the ground. Is there ever a time when you feel that way? People talk of being grounded, but do you sometimes feel like you are the earth, like one with the earth? Like, do you stop sometimes and just melt into the earth, perhaps lie down on a on the grass or on a beach and just feel one with the earth? And then he continues, I feel like the ground astonished at what the atmosphere has brought to it. This atmosphere could be, if you look at the world and what's going on in the world to the earth, you could look at it from that perspective. But you could also look at what life is bringing to you right now. And you are the earth, and the atmosphere is the atmosphere of your life. What it is that's happening, what's brewing, what's forming in your environment. What I know is growing inside me. What I know is growing inside me. It's interesting that our knowing shapes who we are. It's interesting what we believe, what we think, what we know. The known world shapes who we are. And yet, Rumi wants to invite us into another possibility, a possibility that takes us beyond the known world, beyond all that we think and feel and dream. And so he says in the next line, rain makes every molecule pregnant with a mystery. Rain makes every molecule pregnant with a mystery. That's the world he's inviting us to. The world of mystery, the world of the unknown. Because the known will shape us in the direction of that which is known. Right? It's like being on a particular road, and now you're on that road. You're on the path from, let's say, San Diego to Los Angeles or whatever. You're on that known path, and that known path will now direct you. Your knowing, your knowledge, your beliefs, your understanding, what you think, what you feel, that's shaping where you're headed. But if you really want to head somewhere different, if you really want to find a new way to live, or maybe every day, every moment, a new doorway, then he says, like the rain, be like the rain. Rain makes every molecule pregnant with a mystery. So let's translate that into our lives. Every moment is like that raindrop, pregnant with mystery. Every moment of our lives is a mystery waiting to unfold. Now imagine how you would live your life. Instead of living by that which you know and believe and think, if you lived your life as a mystery, waiting to unfold, right? We groan with women in labor. When a woman is in labor, people come and harmonize their voice, their sound, their empathy, their caring. We also groan and complain. So if I transfer that into a metaphorical understanding of our lives, then we also complain with each other about our lives. This happened to me, and you say, oh, this happened to me, and we talk about what the things that are happening in our life, and together we create a relationship, a symbiosis, a kind of camaraderie. The ground cries out, he says, I am truth and glory is here. The ground cries out, I am truth and glory is here. What is the ground? What is this that he's saying? Rumi is here revealing to us deep mysteries about how we can live our lives. Great wisdom that is hidden behind the pearls of his words. So let's see if we can unpack them. The ground cries out, I am truth and glory is here. Is it possible he's saying that every moment holds that possibility? I am truth and glory is here, right? That there is the ground itself, if you think about it, the earth itself is just potential. Every moment, every raindrop that he's alluding to here is just pure potential. Life is pure potential. And instead of looking backward in time or forward, what if we looked at that potential here and now and said to ourselves, this moment is truth and glory. Truth and glory is here now. How do I wish to experience it? How do I wish to live it? How do I wish to be in this moment? Do I wish to be happy and fulfilled? Do I wish to be... What is the possibility I want to attract? What is the possibility I want to experience? We came here in this world to experience. What is it you want to experience today? And is that experience truly filling your heart and soul? Is it giving you the nurturing and the satisfaction, the contentment that you seek and desire? So Rumi says, the ground cries out, I am truth and glory is here. Breaks open and a camel is born out of it. A branch falls from a tree and there's a snake. So think about it like this. All kinds of things happen when you live in a space of wonder. When you live in a space of anything is possible, and you're there watching the mystery of life unfold, rather than trying to control it, rather than trying to make it happen, as our Western world would like to tell us, instead of trying to shape your destiny and live your life the way you want it, the way then you're controlling everything. But if you stop and you look at the wonder of what life is showing you, if you become fascinated with the mystery of the experience that is in front of you, the person, the situation, and if you are in awe of all that is unfolding, then it would feel as if amazing things are happening. Like he says, a camel breaks out of the earth, a branch falls from a tree, and there's a snake. Muhammad said, a faithful believer is a good camel, always looking to its master who takes perfect care. So he's, I think, referring to us who live our lives as faithful believers in the system being whatever we've been conditioned to think, whether it's through religion, through politics, through nationality, through whatever identity we've gained. A faithful believer. We are a faithful believer in our own mind, in our own thoughts, in our own constructs. always looking to its master. Who is the master for most of us? Are we the master of our mind, or is the mind the master of us? I often wonder about that. Ask yourself, are you the master of your mind, or is your mind the master of you? Are you dancing to its tune, or is it dancing to yours? What's the reality? And what should that reality be? What if, instead of dancing to its tune, you would step into this moment of wonder and look out and experience life in a way you've never experienced before? What if? Rumi continues, he brands the flank, that is the master, brands the flank of the camel. He sets out hay. The master takes care of the camel. He sets out hay for it, right? He binds the knees with reasonable rules, right? So all of our mental constructs bind us, bind our knees with reasonable rules. We are reasonable people. We are reasonable in all our thinking. And we do things that are reasonable, and we bind ourselves. It's not even that we need a master. The mind right here is our master, and it has bound us with its reasonable rules to conform, to live according to the rules of others. And don't think that because you find one group of people that doesn't conform, that you're not conforming to that group now. Don't think that because you're, out of your, the real freedom from all this binding is not about going from one group to another, but rather to get out of your head, to get out of your mind, to be free of its control over you. Ultimate freedom lies there. So the master binds the knees with reasonable rules, and now he loosens all bindings and lets the camel dance. What would it be like if you loosened all the bindings, the trappings that tie you down? Is it your bills? Is it your relationship? Is it your own beliefs about how life should be and what is good and what is right? And what if you loosen those boundings and let yourself dance? Let the camel dance, tearing the bridle and ripping the blankets. What if you did that for yourself? And this is not about going out of control and harming or hurting anyone. Please, no. Absolutely not. It is about setting yourself free from the limitations you've placed on yourself. What if you were to set yourself free from the limitations you've placed upon yourself? And what if you were then to dance, tearing away the bridle that was holding you in place? Consider that this morning. The field itself sprouts new forms while the camel dances over them. Yes, the camel dances on the field. New forms are created in the dirt. Imaginary plants no one has thought of. Please consider the possibilities of all. It's like ripples in the water. When you begin a new dance, when you begin a new way of thinking, a new way of living, when you set yourself free from the old, from the past, from all that has happened and all that will happen, when you set yourself free in your mind, think of the ripples as they spread out into the world, into everyone you know, the joy that you bring, right? The joy of finding yourself in new territory. We're so terrified, we're so scared of being able to reinvent ourselves, of being able to create ourselves without limitations. It seems so daunting, and I know in my own life, I'm not just saying this to you, I've been doing it again and again and again. And it's been such a fascinating journey, so scary, so daunting, so overwhelming sometimes, but so rewarding to keep reinventing yourself, to keep setting yourself free, to keep looking at where am I bound down, where am I shackled, where am I limited, and how can I break free from that? The field itself, the field is the field of consciousness, the field of this life, sprouts new forms while the camel dances over them. The camel in this case is us. Imaginary plants no one has thought of, but all these new seeds, no matter how they try, do not reveal the other sun. Ooh, he keeps taking us from one mystery to another. But all these new seeds, so what were these new seeds? These are the new seeds of desire, the new seeds of recreating ourselves, these new seeds of stepping into the unknown within ourselves, the unknown possibilities of who we are and who we could be. He says, no matter how they try, these seeds, no matter how hard they try, do not reveal the other sun. They hide it. What is the other sun? I think here he refers to the divine. I think here he refers to God. That other sun is hidden by our desires, by all the ways in which we play in this world, creating and recreating ourselves. Those are wonderful, I'm not denying it. But at the same time, in our endeavors, in all our doingness, in all our efforts, to be or not to be, we are going on, we do not experience the other sun, as he calls it. They hide it. Still the effort is joy, one by one, to keep uncovering pearls in oyster shells. Still the effort is joy, one by one, to keep uncovering pearls in oyster shells. It's a great way to express that. You know, when we step into a new possibility in our lives, be that a possibility of trying to reinvent our career, our relationship, ourselves. In fact, I'd say the greatest reinvention is of yourself. The greatest recreation is of you. There is nothing more profound than that in my experience. And that's like an oyster shell. And then he says, the effort is joy. It's hard to pry it open. It's hard. The shell is hard. One by one, uncovering pearls in oyster shells, finding the pearls of who you are, finding the pearls of what life is, finding the pearls of that which we come from, that source, that divine essence, or God, as some call it. Life is a great adventure, and that is perhaps the message of this poem. Life is a grand adventure. And I invite you to check and see if you've shut yourself up from that adventure or if you are walking it. I'd love to hear how your life is unfolding, and if there's any way I can support you or be part of that grand adventure, wonderful, or at least share with me how that adventure of life has been unfolding for you. I'd love to hear that, and you can write in the comments. You can share anywhere you like. I'm on Instagram at rohitjuneja.us. I'm also on YouTube at my channel there, Rohit Juneja, or Loving Soulfully. Yeah, and if you like this kind of poetry, read the book of Rumi. This is Rumi's, the rendition of his poetry by Coleman Barks, called The Essential Rumi. And if you like such stuff, you can download my book, Loving Soulfully, at lovingsoulfully.com. And it's free, yeah, the entire book. And it's similar to what Rumi writes in some ways, and yet different. But I'd love to hear from you, one way or the other. And I wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful morning. Take care. Be back. I'm here every Monday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, live on YouTube and Facebook and on Instagram. All right, take care. Lots of love.